Hey, what's up, guys? Welcome back to Lazy Couch Thoughts. And then there are 25% of the leagues left, and is your team in? Is your team still alive in the NFL playoffs? Is your team still eligible to win the Lombardi Trophy this year? I don't know. Before we get into it today, we're going to talk about some of the disrespect going around the NFL on a couple of the Sunday playoff games. Before we dig into that, I just want to encourage you, check down below in the bio and in the description of this episode. You can find all of where we keep the blogs, all the social media. You're already on YouTube, so you found that already. And then stuff like Twitch. Please take a minute, check that out. You can pause the video and do so. But if you enjoy this content, I have a lot more. I actually think the other stuff is probably better content. So, I mean, if you enjoy this, you'll probably enjoy that even more. So, go check that out. So, in case you didn't know, Sunday was kind of the disrespect, revenge type games on the wild card weekend, so to say. So, we started off with the Ravens-Titans at noon. As you may remember, the Titans and the Ravens played earlier this year. The Titans were dancing on pregame and like jumping up and down on the Ravens logo. Ravens took offense to that. They went out there to try and go fight. Jim Harbaugh got into it. Mike Vrabel got into it. Everybody involved was getting into it. Everybody was yelling at each other. Just guy stuff. Oh, you disrespect me, yada yada yada, and then they get into it. Titans go on. They actually beat the Ravens. I think it was in overtime. Derrick Henry went on like a 25-yard run or whatever. Derrick Henry, he just does his thing. He went like a 25-yard run to win the game, score a touchdown, and the Titans moved on. And because of that, it's kind of funny. That's why the Titans won the division and the Ravens lost their division. Right? That one game, the Titans won their division by one game, and the Ravens lost their division by one game. That game was a big difference. That was a very important game between two playoff teams. Now the Ravens get to have a chance for revenge. What I predicted to happen in the game is exactly what happened. The Titans have a bad rush defense. And the Ravens have a very good rush offense. And the Ravens were hot, and the Titans were cold on those two sides of the ball. And the Ravens ran the ball at will. Lamar Jackson had over 150 yards. The Ravens ran for 250. And then on the flip side, the Titans have a pretty good run offense, but the Ravens have a really good run defense. I mean, pretty good. Derrick Henry is the leading rusher in the NFL this year, but they're the opposite. Like, the Titans beat them last year because they had a great run game in Derrick Henry, and they played great defense and stopped the other team from moving the ball and running the ball. This year, the Titans defense wasn't like that. The Titans defense couldn't play that style of ball. They couldn't really stop people. So the Ravens just said, hey, we'll take the Titans approach from last year. We'll run the ball, and we'll play good rush defense on the other side of the ball. And, they went out there with a win. They did it what the Titans did last year, and they escaped with a win. And now they're moving on. They get to go play the Bills in Buffalo. Because in our other rivalry revenge game, the Browns went out there and beat the Steelers and beat the brakes off of them, put up 48 points against them. And that was without their head coach, the majority of their offensive staff. Their second team all-pro guard was out due to COVID going into this game. Their Pro Bowl corner was out from COVID, due to COVID during this game. Their first team all-pro right tackle, Jack Conklin, was out. He got hurt in the first quarter or half of this game. And then there's another one. There was their other offensive lineman went down as well. So they were playing without 3/5 of their offensive line. They were playing without both of their starting corners. And two of their offensive linemen that were out were all pros. And then you take into the fact that they lost the front runner for the coach of the year. He couldn't coach this week. They didn't have any practice. And Baker and the boys just went out there and beat them. And then after the game, they start quoting all the stuff that the Steelers said about them in the week. So, in case you didn't see, Steelers did the old, let's give them a ton of billboard material, and you had Juju Smith-Schuster saying, we're not really worried at the end of the day. Quote, the Browns is the Browns. And basically what that means is, yeah, we're not worried. The Browns usually suck. The Browns still suck. We're going to go out there and handle business with the Steelers. And then after the game, all the Browns players are screaming in the locker room, yeah, the Browns is the Browns. The Browns is the Browns. You got Jarvis and everybody dancing to the Corvette, clowning Juju. Everybody's doing all the TikTok dances in the locker room, making fun of Juju Smith-Schuster. The Steelers, like, why would you do that? Everything's going your way. They got all kinds of players missing because of COVID and injuries. The Browns have been dealing with COVID stuff for the last 3 or 4 weeks. They never had the time, because it happens so late in the season, to go sit out a week or so and get everything right. And then you give them that? You just start talking all kinds of smack and saying, oh yeah, the Browns is the Browns, the Browns is the Browns. Like, yeah, we're not worried. They barely beat us last week when we didn't start any starters. But you know why the Steelers probably should have started their starters last week? So they didn't have to play the Browns today. They didn't have to play the Browns in back-to-back weeks. That was dumb. Do what the Bills did. The Bills went out there and beat the Dolphins, and since all the other teams won that were supposed to win, the Dolphins didn't make it in the playoffs. If the Steelers would have beat the Browns would have been out. The Browns would have been out last week whenever they beat the Steelers by 2 without any of the Steelers players playing, because they all sat out. So instead, now the Browns are moving to the divisional rounds for the first time since 1994, and you're at home, and you're $70-80 million over the cap, and you got 18 people as free agents next year, and you got Big Ben, who did not look good last night. Oh, but he threw for 500 yards and 4 touchdowns. I don't care. It took him 70 pass attempts to get there. He averaged 7.8 yards a completion. He turned the ball over 5 times. I'm not worried about that. Big Ben looked terrible. Big Ben's probably going to retire now, because, like, you saw him on the sideline. He looked distraught. And they still had him throwing 70 times a game, like, all season long. That wasn't a Pittsburgh Steelers type team. That was weird. Everything they wanted to throw the ball like crazy. They wanted to do all dance, but, like, the Steelers I know, they like to run the ball. They want to play hard-nosed defense, and they want to go win that game 3-0. Nah, but the league's changing. But it was, the Steelers, like, never really felt dangerous. Even when they were 11-0, everybody was like, yeah, but are they really? And I thought that defense was legit. I did not think they were going to lose this game to the Browns. I'm very happy that they did. Baker Mayfield went out there and played his tail off. He led that offense on some drives. But at the end of the day, you still got to go out there and play the game. And I don't think that's why you probably shouldn't disrespect and give the other team billboard material before you play them. Do it after, not before. That was just dumb. You could tell the Browns were fired up from the get-go. They jumped to a 28-0 first quarter lead. They were fired up. They felt disrespected. Maybe you shouldn't disrespect other professional athletes before you have to play them. Browns have talent. The Browns are a good team. Now it sucks that they have to go play the Chiefs, but the Browns are still a very good team, and they're building to something. But yeah, guys, what did we learn today? We learned that you probably shouldn't disrespect other NFL teams for no reason. But as a fan's sake, it's entertaining. I liked it. But anyways, thank you guys for watching. Please like, share the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe for more content like this, and I'll see you guys on Wednesday. Peace.